Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the brand new Nothing Nowhere record entitled One Takes Volume 1. Oh yeah, baby, it's the #1 Nothing Nowhere stan on the internet, back to bring you another video. I've covered him extensively, don't think he needs much of an introduction, but if so, Nothing Nowhere is an alternative rock, hip-hop, emo hip-hop, indie rock artist. He goes by Nothing Nowhere, but his name's Joe, and he has been making music for quite a while, has yoinked quite a few placements on my N-year list repeatedly. I know that I really loved Bloodlust, I really loved Ruiner almost stole my album of the year it came out, and I think that his record Reaper is one of the best of that year as well, but I wasn't reviewing music at the time. So a while back, he started to drop what he called one-take covers, which is where he would just film himself. Sometimes he would do some atmospheric shots of things that were going on in his life. I remember one, he went out and was getting maple syrup, I believe, or something similar to that, and he would just record himself doing a one-take, acoustic, stripped-back cover of one of his songs. And increasingly, these grew in popularity, and he continued to make more and more. These tracks, when I say stripped back, were very stripped back. Obviously, they had some mixing on them. You could tell that they have a lot of reverb on the guitar work, but for the most part, it was just him, a guitar, his voice, and that's pretty much it. Very minimal editing, very minimal tweaking, and basically these were just live performances. But there was something to these tracks. Nothing Nowhere translates so well to these stripped back renditions of his own tracks that I am so glad that he continued to make them. Each one really had their own resonance, and you could hear his voice a lot better. When he is rapping or when he is singing, sometimes when he's touched up or when he's doing these mixing embellishments, it's difficult to really hear the real emotion he is putting into these lyrics. And when you hear these lyrics stand alone alongside such bare minimal instrumentation, it really gives the lyrics a chance to stand out and gives his vocal cords a big chance to stand out. The way he slips from his very nasally, kind of low tongue-laden type of vocal strain, like he strains in a way that makes it sound good. He has a very post-hardcore and emo/screamo register to his vocal range, and that comes from the fact that he has always loved that music. I know he's toured with Dashboard Confessional and Law Dispute. He even had Dashboard Confessional on a track back on Reaper. As he continued to drop these one-take covers, people kept asking, please, for the love of God, put this on streaming platforms, make an album out of this, don't just leave them standalone, because they are so good and you put so much time into them that they deserve to see the light of day beyond these videos. And he answered the call. He put them together into a 58-minute, 13-track record. And bias aside, I think that this fits very well into his canon. I absolutely love this record. I disassociate and I drift quite a bit to this. I detach quite a lot. It brings up memories in my head, and you can call it life experience or you can call it relating to the lyricism, but damn if he can't string a song topic together in a way that is not only relatable, but simultaneously poetic on so many occasions that I don't even think a human could possess the amount of hands if they got them surgically put in various spots. I still don't think they'd have enough fingers to say how many quotables are on this record that just cut really deep. I still to this day say that Nothing Nowhere is very underrated. I have on many occasions said that he is my favorite solo artist at large right now, and that is the type of thing that people either agree with or don't. I don't really care. Otherwise, I feel like the only thing about this record is there's only so much you can do with acoustic renditions, or I guess stripped back renditions. The musical palette on this record isn't very diverse. The dynamics of this record pretty much stop at him piercing his vocal range and him doing arpeggios with his guitar work, and it doesn't really ever go beyond that because he can't. You're not getting orchestral elements, you're not getting huge bands, you're not getting a bunch of percussion work and violins, you're not getting beats, you're not getting the trap hi-hats or anything like that, you're not getting any 808s. None of that is present on this record, and I feel like to appreciate that, you have to appreciate it standalone as it's being presented. Also, I really enjoy these songs he picked. A lot of times when bands will do acoustic renditions, I know that Beartooth did one, that's a very specific example, but the reason I didn't enjoy that record for reference is because I feel like they didn't pick songs that translated properly to the acoustics that they were presenting. Nothing Nowhere's songs pretty much entirely translate all in all. I think he could probably do any track and turn it into a great one, but I love the songs that he chose, and they all tell a story that strings together even though they're from different albums. He performs them with so much heart and charisma, and he's not afraid to be vulnerable in these one takes by allowing his vocal range to crack and bust. This is the type of record that you sometimes can't listen to more than one at a time because it's just gonna feel so emotional, and it's such a weight on your chest. It feels like someone's pushing down on your shoulders or sitting on your chest and preventing you from breathing. Some of the notes he hits gives me chills, it gives me goosebumps, especially when he switches from that nasally low register to a high falsetto chord, or he starts belting. Examples of that would be the one take of Hammer, or of course Clarity and Kerosene, which I objectively think is the best track on this record. Also, just gotta say, I'm very glad he included Wooden Home. That's a track that I think a lot of people forget, and it is one of my favorite tracks because I think it's one of his most emotionally poignant tracks. And he's not afraid to extend a track to really hit you in the feels, like Rejector is one of my favorite tracks off of Ruiner. I even did a cover of that track a really long time ago, but I don't think I ever posted it. I really related a lot to that track, and I thought it was one of the more beautiful tracks that were present on Ruiner. Rejector not only translates so well to an acoustic type of ballad, considering that it is very hushed, it is very intimate, just like, 'cause I'm just a ranger, putting back the pieces. Like, it's really low in the register, and he kind of whisper sings it. It translates good as is, especially when he goes into that falsetto after the chorus where it's like, ooh. Like, he hits that note really good, and he lets it like wobble, and he lets it be a little bit staccato, but he extends the track almost to like 6 minutes long, which I believe the original doesn't even come close to that. He is not afraid to push the limits. And even though I really love Clarity and Kerosene, the bias record of this track listing is by far 20-something. Around the 20-minute mark, can I just say this is by far, and trust me when I say that I am educated to say this, I'm not pretentious, I don't have an ego, I swear, but if anyone knows Nothing Nowhere's music from top to bottom, head to toe, it's probably me. 20-something, around the 2-minute mark, in this track listing, is his best vocal performance. He exceeded all expectations on this track. He jumps so high in his register, and he will swap from belting to falsetto in a way that is so powerful, bone-chilling. He sounds ethereal. He's like a ghost. Not to mention when he cracks, it sounds so natural and organic. It doesn't sound like, oh, he's straining, oh, he's pushing himself out of his register, oh, he can't hit that note. He literally just sounds so shrill in a way that his heart is being torn out of his body. He is feeling these lyrics, and I love that so much because you can tell when someone genuinely feels what they are singing about, and that's one of the reasons I love Nothing Nowhere so much. So many artists in his lane sound unorganic. They just sound unorganic. They just sound fake a lot of times. They just sound like they are making the same song over and over. But even though this is stripped back, it still has so much more emotion than a lot of what I hear and what's put in front of me and what's recommended to me. I just adore this record, and I want to hear more one takes. I would love to see a volume 2 of this because I think he just does so much justice. He does his own tracks justice. I know that's a dumb thing to say, but I mean it when I say it. And this is probably one of my favorite records of the year that's dropped, and I guess I'll leave it at that. I'm going to be giving this album a 9 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Nothing Nowhere record, One Takes Volume 1? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morse, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell. Nothing Nowhere fans will get that little gesture.